Okay, welcome everybody. I think I'm live now. I've got the my chat blown up where I can read it. Okay, welcome everybody. I think I'm live now. I've got the my chat blown up where I can read it. Okay, welcome everybody. I think I'm live now. I've got the my chat blown up where I can read it. Okay, welcome everybody. I think I'm live now. I've got the okay, now I think we're okay. Let me get the chat back open here. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. Hey, Bubba. Let's see who we got in the house. We got Joseph Connor, Trevor Carter, Bubba Hogue, Hobby. Yeah, way better. I forgot to mute that stupid thing. Becca Miller, Robert Petrie. I guess that's how you say that. All right. Glad everybody's here. Both of you, 5 or 6 of you, however many we got. We're going to talk tonight about this guy right here. This is the, I don't even know how you pronounce it. My hand wheel pendant. And I probably will touch a little bit on this one. This is that first one I bought. But before I get started talking on those, I got a few little things I want to run by y'all. I'm assuming everybody can hear me okay. Darren Birds. Steve is in the house. Ed White's in the house. Robert Avery. Good to see you guys. All right, we jumped up. We got 17 now. Okay, I just want to talk about a couple of things. I'm going to try to remember to keep looking back here at the camera and instead of having my back to you. First thing I want to mention is I know I've got some people that have been asking me about the 36 by 24 Garage Works, which is like that one back there. I should have some parts next week. I've been out of stock on the parts, and I just didn't have room to order any until I got some of this other, some other the 4x4s and stuff out here. So my inventory is down now, so I've got an order, and I should have some of those in sometime next week. I talked to my fabricator yesterday. That could mean Monday, that could mean next Friday, but sometime next week. Also, I want to talk real quick again about the meetup we're having at Melinda Davies' shop in Stockbridge, Georgia, September 30th. Please, 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 if you're planning on coming at her, you know you're going to come to that thing. Don't put a comment on the chat here or something and say, yeah, I'm coming. Let me know someplace where I can go back and find it later, like an email, Facebook message, comment on this video or something like that. Not in the chat, but you know, down below after it's a video, someplace where I can find it. I'm trying to get a good head count. I'm going to cater some barbecue. And I don't want anybody to miss out on that. So if you show up, you know, you don't let me know you're coming and you just show up there, decide in the last day or two, you know, we may not have enough barbecue. So I want to make sure I get enough, and I want to get a good head count for that. So please let me know. Either you can go to the forum. I've got a little poll there. You can let me know you're coming. We've already got several people letting me know there. I've got the thing on the Facebook groups. Let me know some kind of way if you know for sure you're coming. And if you don't know for sure, try to work it out where you can come. It'll be a great time. It's not just for CNC folks. We're going to do it for woodworkers, makers, anybody, because there's a lot of good talent right here in the Atlanta metro area. I can tell you that for sure. Okay, and also there's links to down below. If you click on that show more thing on this, once this becomes a video, there's links to not only the 2 pendants that I'm going to talk about, but also to the Dave Gatton Community Forum. If you're not a member of that already, you may want to join that. There's lots of cool builds and stuff going on over there. So you need to check that out. And of course, if you're not already a member of one of the Facebook groups, I have 2 Facebook groups, one for GarageWorks CNC and also one for the Gatton CNC. You know, so you're welcome to join those as well. And that's how you keep up with what I got going on, because I usually post things on Facebook more so than anywhere else. One final thing, and y'all are probably going to think I'm crazy when I say this. Jeff John, hey Jeff, how you doing? I don't think it's too early to start talking about the CNC Christmas Challenge. If you're brand new at, you know, checking me out here and you haven't been keeping up with me or following me before, last year we did a CNC Christmas Challenge where we did prizes and stuff for, you know, you make a Christmas themed project with your CNC. And the reason I want to go ahead and start talking about it now, I know it's only, you know, gosh, the middle of September, but you go out to stores, they already got Christmas stuff out. And the challenge will run from the Friday after Thanksgiving, which is, I just looked at the calendar, if I'm not mistaken, it's November 24th, right up through midnight Christmas Eve. You'll have to, you know, shoot a video of you're making a project with your CNC, of a Christmas project or Christmas themed project. Upload it to YouTube, send me the link where I put it in a playlist. We had some awesome looking stuff last year. I think we had 16 entries. Hope to do a lot better than that. And that's why I'm going ahead and mention that now. Like I said, I know it's the middle of September, but I know, sure as the sun's coming up tomorrow, there's going to be somebody that goes, well, I would like to have done that, but I just didn't have time. Well, I'm telling you now, you got plenty of time. Get your thinking cap on, get out there in your shop, go ahead and make something, shoot the video, and then you can wait until after November 24th to upload it and send me the link. So just want to go, I'll be talking about that a lot from now on, because, you know, we want to get a lot of people involved in that. A lot of folks are making CNCs. Good Lord, the Gatton CNC stuff is over there on that forum. There's all kinds of build photos and stuff going on. It's crazy over there. Some really awesome looking machines. So let's have everybody get in on this, and we're gonna have some great prizes this year. I will make sure of that. Okay, let's get started. Hobby's Wood Shop. I'm just going to talk about this one really briefly. I'm not even going to plug it up or anything. There's a link down in the description if anybody. I think it's the second one. The first one I think is for the other one. But this is one I bought well over a year ago. In fact, I bought 2 of these, and I ended up giving one of them away to my buddy Jim. But these are about $40, 45 bucks, something like that on Amazon. They are a good little starter pendant, and I call it a starter pendant only because this one here that I'm going to show you how to install and set up tonight is probably a little over twice as much as this one. This one's, I think, $87.50 or something like that, close to 90 bucks. But it is probably 4 or 5 times better than this one, in my opinion. You can do a whole lot more with this one. And I'll be showing you some of that stuff tonight, some of my favorite features. I don't use all those buttons because, and especially tonight, I'm just going to show you how to, we're going to put it on this machine. This is the one I had the laser on last week. But this machine doesn't have, doesn't have homing switches. I did make a touch plate today for it, but doesn't have any really bells and whistles on it. So a lot of the buttons on this one you wouldn't use. And also you wouldn't use a few of them on here too. But anyway, if anybody, got a tight budget, but you can afford 40 bucks or so, this still isn't a bad deal. And you might want to get one of those. So like I said, there's a link down below for that one. This other one, I was out here today, and again, I know from you guys' comments, it always seems to work better if I do screenshots, which means I'm going to be trying to run this machine from the same laptop that I'm doing this live stream with. So, you know, I'm just going to do it that way. Try, you know, it doesn't work good trying to put a webcam pointing at the screen. It's too fuzzy. So we're just going to do the screenshots. I may have a little bit of an issue though, because right now I've got all 3 USB ports on my laptop taken up because I got my big mic, the UC100 for this machine, and then I've got the webcam. So when it comes time to plug this in, I may have to just use the mic, unplug my mic and use the mic that's on that webcam, which it works okay. But, you know, I'll try, I have to make sure I put it over here in front of me so I'm not, you know, pointing this way and talking that way or whatever. Before we get started, anybody got any questions over there in the chat that I need to know about? Any questions at all about anything? The meetup, Christmas challenge, anything before we get started? I see a bunch of hay marks over there, but I don't see Mark. Mark must be over there somewhere. Not familiar with these feeds. Do they come through YouTube directly or Google site? Well, yeah, you're watching it on YouTube right now. After we go off the air or whatever you want to call it, then it becomes a YouTube video, you know, about 15, 20 minutes after I close it out. But there you are, Mark. Okay, I see you, buddy. I knew you had to be in there somewhere. You just scrolled up already. Okay, well, yeah, I don't see any questions. Georgia Bubba, I'm in for the Christmas challenge. Good. I hope, like I said, we had 16 awesome entries. And if you want to see what some of the folks did and maybe look at them to get some ideas, that playlist, you know, just go to my YouTube channel and you'll find that playlist for just, I think just put 2016 CNC Christmas challenge, I believe is what it's called. Sawdust Maker. Hey, Richard, how you doing? I hope you're going to come to the meetup. It's not too far for you. I hope you're planning on coming. Okay, well, I guess we'll get started talking about this this pendant. I just found this one on Amazon. I've had this one, oh gosh, I don't even know. I've had it a good while. And I really like this thing. I've been bragging on it, and I know a lot of other folks have purchased one too, and then they may be having some trouble with it. So I thought I would try to show you what little bit I know about this and how to get it set up, how to do at least some of the basic stuff, and also show you some of the really cool, or at least what I think is a cool feature of this pendant. All right, Richard said he's going. Awesome. Can't wait to see you there, buddy. And I still got to make it out to your shop. I haven't been out to your shop to see it either. So, all right. Well, like I said, I got this off of Amazon, and like I said, there's a link down below. When you get it, you'll get the beautiful manual written in wonderful Chinglish. It's not too bad. Thankfully, there's some pictures in there so you can make that up. But there's a lot of, I guess it's Chinese or something. So, well, you know, those things are always difficult to try to weed through. And I bet that's probably why a lot of people have trouble. But you also should have this little thing, which is nothing more than one of these, I don't know what they call these things. They're like a little mini CD or DVD or whatever they are. But you just put them in your regular DVD player. I've had some people ask me to send them the driver because they say their computer don't read this, and I'm wondering if they think because it's small, it's not supposed to go in that other one. I don't know, but you just put it in your regular DVD on your computer or laptop or whatever, and you'll pull the drivers and stuff off of there. So I had, like I said, I was out here and had this one working earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I guess I'll probably move that mic and do the screenshots real quick. So y'all will have to pipe up over there in the chat and let me know if you're having trouble hearing me, because when I may have to move that webcam over here so that I'm pointing straight at that thing when I'm talking. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen here real quick. And so also somebody let me know if you can see it. I think I put this thing on the desktop. I thought I did. Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe I did. All right, can y'all hear me okay? Okay, you see it. I'm gonna go ahead, go ahead and stick this DVD thing in here so we can go through the motions here. Okay, so I've got that in the, it should pop up here in a sec. Here it goes. So this is what you should be reading. Can everybody hear me okay? Hear me fine? Okay, good. So here's what's on this little tiny disk that I just put in there. You've got a folder that's got the drivers. You've got some macro codes in here. I haven't really fooled with any of those. They also have this PDF file that I'll show you real quick that has all the Mach 3 code. So if you want a special, customize your pendant and put some special buttons on there. Oops. Yeah, here you can see all the different code numbers for doing this. And it, this might be a little intimidating to some folks. It is kind of to me, really, because there's a lot of stuff going on in here. A lot of different things you can do. But I'm just going to kind of show you the basic stuff that I think you'll use as a hobbyist, you'll use all the time. We're not going to worry too much about some of this real super fancy stuff because I like to keep it simple. Okay, there's also manuals here. This there again, the Mach 3 OEM codes, PDF of that. I guess that there's just a picture of the silly thing, but I already showed you that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to where the driver folder is. And there's also an installation document here. I suppose you could print it out. I don't have Microsoft Office or anything like that on this laptop, so I don't know. You're probably not going to open it. But anyway, all I do is I take this shuttlepro.dll. That's the driver that you're looking for. And then I'm just going to right click and I'll copy that off of that little DVD thing. And then I'll come over here to my C drive and then I'll go to the Mach 3 folder and then I will go to plugins, the folder that says plugins. And you'll notice that all these files in here have the DLL and the driver extension. So I can go ahead and paste this. It'll ask me to overwrite because, in fact, I don't think I'll overwrite it because I've already got it set up. But here it is right here. I had to put in there. You'll notice too, while we're in here, you can see there's the driver for my UC 100 or UC 300. All that loads when I was installing my UC 100. Here's even the old driver, the ESS. That's for my Ethernet smooth stepper that I used at one time. So Okay, Jeff, hope you can get your computer issue solved. Are those crickets? Yes, that is crickets, Ollie. I've got the window open. It's a little warm out here. I'm trying to run without the fan tonight just because of the ambient noise. But I've got the window open back there. And yeah, that's crickets you hear from out there. And tree frogs. So anyway, this is the Shuttle Pro. Yes, that's the driver that you need to put. And this is where you need to put your C Mach 3 plugins folder. So, has everybody got that? Okay, I'll wait for y'all to, if anybody has a question, just, I got this chat thing real big where I can see it as soon as it pops up. So if you got something you want to ask, now's the time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of that screen. And I'm going to come over here to, well, let's see, I don't need this either. And I'm going to come to my Mach 3 loader. And in case anybody's wondering, I always use the Mach 3 loader simply because I have multiple machines. I have different machine profiles. So I use that so that it will pull up the list. Here you see all the different profiles that I've set up with this laptop at sometime or another. So I'm dealing right now with the GarageWorks 24x18. So I'm going to open up that machine profile, and we'll give Mach 3 a minute to open here. Okay. And again, you know, for somebody's probably going to say, well, why don't you just check that and it won't pop up? I run a lot of different types of steps, so I want this to pop up to confirm what I'm running with. So there's my UC100 motion controller right there. So I'm going to click OK, and then I can reset. And now, technically, I'm ready to run the machine like I normally would. But now we'll go to, we need to configure that plugin that we just put in there. So we can go to config and come down here to configure plugins. And again, it tells you how to do this in that wonderful Chinglish manual that I mentioned, but it's a little difficult to decipher. So here you can see, you want to make sure that this is enabled. This is the Shuttle Pro XHC for Mach 3. This is the one we're talking about right here. So I can click on this config right here, and then this will pop up. Okay, now all of these, when you first do it, when you first bring it in here, like I said, I've already been out here today, and yeah, they'll all say none like that. But I've already got this one set. I've got the macro 1 to 0 the X, the macro 2 to 0 the Y, 3 to 0 the Z, a macro 6 to home all, and macro 7 to 0 all. And the big difference between those is if I had homing switches on this and I hit that macro 6, it's the same thing as hitting reference all home. It will try to home the machine. Now, since I don't have any homing switches set up, it will simply turn the DROs to 0, just like when you hit reference all home in Mach 3, when you're not running those switches, of just now you've referenced that as your home position. So, can you jog with the keyboard after you load? Yes, you can, Larry. Yeah, you can still do everything with the keyboard that you can do before you load a pendant. You can just use the pendant when you want to. You know, if you've got your computer on one side of the room and you know you've got your pendant, you know, it's got magnets so you can stick it right onto a metal part of your machine. You know, it's handy, and you'll see in a minute when I turn the camera back on and show some stuff to be right there at the machine and using that pendant to get it dialed in where you want to go. Yeah, good point, Javi. Unfortunately, I'm not even insanely rich, much less insanely rich. So, but anyway, so this is how I've got mine set up. I've got those macros set up, and then down here, this 133, 134, and 135. I've got 133 in macro number 1, 134 in macro number 2, and 135 in macro number 3. And again, that's just zeroing out the, like if I want to zero just the x-axis, I can hit that macro 1 button, which is right there. I guess y'all can see where my arrow is. There's like 1, 2, 3, and then it goes 6, 7. I don't know why there's not a 4 and a 5, but there's not. It goes 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. I see a macro 5 here, but there's not a button in macro 8. So I don't know. I'd have to read the directions, I guess, a little more to dig into how you set those up. Unless you could change some of those other buttons. I'm assuming that's what that's for. But this is a pretty basic setup. And you'll see when I turn the camera back on and get this thing plugged in and show it running, it's probably what you see right here is probably all you'll really need, unless you want to get real fancy and, you know, and add a bunch of other stuff to it, which you can. But, you know, right now I'm just trying to help the folks that have got one of these things and are having trouble getting them going. So there's what I've got set up. Before I get off this screen, does anybody have any questions about this configuration screen? Okay, I don't see any questions popping up, so I will move forward. So I'm going to click OK, and OK again, and we now have that thing configured. So now we're ready to plug it in, and this is where I'm going to have to unhook this one big mic and connect to connect the USB cable for the pendant. So we'll see. I may have to go back and change my. Let me get out of here first before I do that. Let me stop sharing. Get out of here. Okay, we're back here. So I'm going to switch the mic, and y'all have to let me know if you can hear me good or if you can't hear me at all or whatever. So here we go. Okay, can y'all hear me? Okay, somebody let me know. Okay, I see your question there, Becca. You'll be able to see here in just a second. Yes, okay. All right, so I'm going to switch back over to Mach 3 here. What does it say? Please restart Mach 3. Let's see if I've got my. Oh yeah, I've got to restart Mach 3 because I don't have my not lit up here. We'll do this real quick. Let's see. Make sure I get that thing. Oh, I think I just messed up and I've unplugged the wrong thing. Yeah, that's the mic. I've got a cable running everywhere here, folks, so bear with me. Where is this? Okay, here we go. Okay, now can everybody still hear me? Because I'm switching cables around here like crazy. Okay, I'm assuming I see a yes. Robert Avery says yes. I hope he was answering me. Okay, I got Mach 3 loading back up. Let's see if I get my UC 100. Raymond Dixon, how you doing, Ray? Roger the Tinker. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I've got my, what I'm looking at here, folks, I've got my breakout board. I've got a parallel cable running from the back of my Xylotex dry box to one of the parallel ports on the breakout board. Then I've got my UC 100 plugged into the other parallel port, and then of course I've got the USB cable plugged into the laptop. So we should be good there. Okay, and like I said, if all of a sudden y'all have trouble hearing me, somebody please let me know, because I'm trying to talk loud because I know the microphone is over here. I'm just loading in a program here. Okay, now, right now, I plug this thing in. It's not even showing. And again, I can't see. You're just going to have to tell me if you have trouble seeing. But this button right here turns this thing off and on. So when I turn that on, hopefully you can now see a display. And like I said, I set those macros where 1, 2, and 3 is where I'm zeroing the X, Y, and the Z. So I'm going to push macro 1. And it didn't do anything. I think it's because I got to restart this thing again. Just don't have enough USB ports to go around here. Let's see. Okay, now let's see what happens. Yeah, now when I push the macro 1, I know you guys can't see this, but the DRO on the X went to 0. When I push 2, the Y goes to 0. And when I push macro 3, the Z goes to 0. When I push macro 6, it's the same as if I hit reference all home, because now there's numbers in there, the work coordinates, but they're all green now instead of red. So I can now go back and hit the 1, 2, and 3 again, or I could hit the macro 7, which zeroes them all at the same time. So now I've got this. I got this all where I want it home. And let's say, as a matter of fact, I've got the machine all the way back. So I can dial this, and I'm going to hold this. And if y'all have trouble seeing this, somebody let me know. Because like I said, I'm without a monitor now, because I got it on the Mach 3 screen. But if I set this dial right here has off, which is where it is now. I have an X, Y, Z, A, spindle, and feed dial. So I can set this to the Y, and then I can use the hand crank. Well, if I turn the dry box on, that always helps. So if I turn the dry box on and have power, now I can just turn this dial and bring it forward. So I'm going to just kind of set this to the middle of the machine. If I want to move the X, I just flip this little knob over to the X, and you can see I can jog it that way. You notice how it goes the same, like if I turn this wheel this way to the right, it goes right and vice versa. So that should be the way it's set up. Same thing with the Z. You can go up or down. And you're basically jogging at whatever, I mean, if you really crank this, you're jogging it at whatever speed you've got set as your max in Mach 3. I'm going to show you some other cool stuff, though, that I really like. Now that I've moved it around, there's also a button right here that's kind of the same as the go to 0 button in your Mach 3 screen. That's this yellow one right up here. So if I hit that one, you'll see that it moved back to where I originally set that reference position. I'm going to move it back up. I get it somewhere in the center of the table. And now I'm going to hit that macro 6, which reference all home. So now everything's 0 again. And once again, if I jog this off of here, move them all a little bit, and then I hit that button right there. That's the same as hitting your go-to 0. So now it goes to the new reference position that I just set. Okay, Becca, I hope you're getting this. Tip it back just a bit. Tip what back? The camera, is it too low? Or am I holding this too high when I do that? That may be what it is. Okay. Obvious I have to count down to the meet. I'm assuming that's what that is. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, any questions with what I've showed you so far? Yes, okay. I thought that's what that was. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw this scrap piece on here. This is what I cut on the laser last week. I'm just going to throw it on here. And now now I'm going to show you the stuff that I really like this one for. You know, let's say you know, like right here, I've got an X on this material from where I set up the laser before. And right now, where I have this thing positioned, I'm really nowhere close. But what I can do is I can turn on the Y. First I'll bring the Z down just a little bit. Try to get it fairly close. And then I'll take the Y and I'll move it back. And right now I'm not trying to get it real super close, just in the vicinity of that X on that material. And the same thing with the X here. Okay, now one of the things I really like, and let me know if you can see it. I'm going to try not to hold it up as high now. Right down here on the lower left part of this thing, there's a button that says Step Plus Plus. Well, when you turn this wheel, right now, you're in the standard jog mode. So it's going to jog fast depending on how fast you turn the wheel. But when you press this step button, and again, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but up in this, on this display up here, up near the top, near the work coordinates, right now when you press it once, it says 1. When you press it a second time, it says 100. When you press it a third time, it says 10. And when you press it a fourth time, it says 1. So I'm going to press it. I'm going to go back. And now I've got it showing 10. So if I look at my screen over there, I see that the X is 0.0586. So now that I've got that step set on 10, it moved it 10 thousandths because now it's at 0.686. There's 0.786. So when you set that on 10, every little click of this dial moves at 10 thousandths. If I want to get, you know, if I'm trying to find my point here, I can get it fairly close like this. And then if I want to get it even more precise, I can hit that button again and get it to 1. And now it's doing like about a half thou or something like, let's see, 1805. Yeah, it's doing about 1,000th there. So you can really get this dialed in. And you can see as I turn this, even though I'm turning it fast, you can probably hear that thing click. Make sure I got everything out of the way here. Yeah. But like I said, you'll want to set it on something like 10 to get it close. Looking pretty good there. And now I can put it on the Z. Again, I'm still on 10 thousandths, so as I move it, it's only moving 10 thousandths at a time. I hope y'all can see this. And I'm going to move the X back over just a little bit. And there you have it. So what's nice is, and again, this is for folks that don't have a touch plate or something like that. If if you're like the way I used to always do it with the old piece of paper, it's real easy now because you can get this thing. You can be right here. You're not over there by your machine, and you can just set this on the table, set it for 1,000, and then as you turn this, you can hold that paper and you can get it really pretty much dead nuts on the top of that material. And I know there's a lot of folks out there that still use the piece of paper method, and there's nothing wrong with that. I did it for years. Okay, it's just now starting to grab that paper. There we go. So, and of course, then once you get it, again, if your computer is on the other side of the room or whatever, you can hit that macro 6, which is the same as hitting reference all home. So all those turn to 0. Everything is ready to go. And I can now take this off of the step mode. You can hit right beside it. There's the button that says MPG mode. And when you hit that, that'll show a 0 up there where you were looking at your 1 and 10 before. And now you're back to your regular jog mode. So you can raise this up, hit cycle start, and you're ready to go. Well, I didn't set that. I should have set that up above the material a little bit. It didn't hurt anything because it's not clamped. So basically, that is it in a nutshell. Let's see what else I can show you on it. Does anybody got any questions on what I've you guys in the chat, I tell you. Does anybody got any questions on anything I've showed you so far? We've talked about. Oh, I know what we can talk about. This also has a stop button right here. Let me restart that program. So if I want to stop, hit the stop. It obviously stops. And it's got a start pause button. So you can hit start, it'll take off again. That's the same as the cycle start. If you hit it while it's running, it's the same as hitting feed hold over there. The only difference is over on the Mach 3 screen, you've got a cycle start and feed hold, 2 different buttons. here you can use this start, and you see it says start/pause. So if you hit it once while it's running, it pauses. You hit it again, and it starts it back up. If you have a real panic attack and you want to hit the reset button, just like you hit the big red reset button over there, there's a reset button right here. And when you hit it, now it's into emergency mode over there. So most of these buttons, like I said, just from, if you look at the way I set up that, yes, Daniel, you can't. Well, now that I've hit reset, the reset over there on the Mach 3 screen is flashing. I can just hit it again with the pendant, clear out that reset, and I can hit the start, which is the same as the cycle start on the Mach 3, and there it goes. Okay, anybody have any questions? Like I said, I think I've probably shown you. Okay, another thing, I just look, as I look, I see one other button that works that I haven't showed you. There's also a button that's right here, a blue button. I hope you can see where my finger is. It says rewind. And since I stopped the program in the middle, let's say I'm like, oh, I screwed this up, I need to start over. If you hit that rewind button on your pendant, it goes back to the top of the program, just like you would, you know, if you were hitting the rewind button there. Again, that yellow button right there will take it back to where your reference position was. So, and I didn't mention before, but this particular pendant that I bought, you notice it's got this USB cable. You can get this same model with a wireless unit. You'll need batteries in the back. They use the same body, I guess, for all of them. So obviously I don't need batteries because it's USB. But if you have a wireless one, you'll put batteries, and then you'll also get one of those little, whatever you call them, things you plug in your USB port, little wireless things. That's one reason why I went with a cable. One, because I don't like having to fool with batteries, and for another, then you got to take it. Becca says with battery, yeah. We won't even talk about that, Becca. I won't call you out on it. But you know, it's just another USB port you got to take up. So. You know, one for the wireless thing. So I'd rather take one up with a cable and know that I don't have to fool with batteries going low right when I'm trying to use the thing. So I prefer USB stuff. Some folks may like the wireless kind. And again, to turn off this display, I usually forget and just leave this thing on, because once you shut the computer off, the display goes off anyway. But to turn it off, you can just hit that button right there, and it clears the display. It shuts this part of it off. So, dongle. Yeah, I guess that's what that thing's called. Nice thing too is not so much on the Gatton CNCs, but you got some good strong magnets on this thing, and that's another thing I like about it, because I got this big wide steel frame, so I keep it right on the front of my Gatton CNC, because my table is using an old metal frame. So. Yeah, just showed that. Bubba, Georgia Bubba, my buddy Ed White. So, any other questions? I think we probably covered it all, maybe in record time here. What time is it? It's about 8:50. But they're really not that, let me get out of here. Turn that off. Okay. And I hope everybody could. Becca says, what's the other yellow button for? Let's see. I don't think it's going to do anything on mine, because Yeah, it doesn't do anything, so it's not set up. It's showing a, something pointing to the lower left-hand corner. So I don't know if that's kind of an offset thing or what that is. I'd have to look. But the one up here, the top yellow one, is the one I use to go to 0. So Trevor, now you can, like right now, well, let me turn this. I've got the pendant turned on, and I'm going to jog with my. Let me get this going here. Why is this not going? Well, it will jog. I don't know why it's not moving now. Let's see. Well, that's a good question, Trevor, and I do it all the time with my desktop. I don't know if there's something about this laptop where this thing would take it over or not, but I thought that I could jog. I can hit all the other keys that I'm doing with the laptop are still working. So unless I've hit, I don't know why that's not working. I'll have to investigate that. Maybe that's something to do with the laptop. But I know on my desktop, it doesn't matter. I use a wireless keyboard with it. And it doesn't matter whether I'm jogging with that or with this thing. It doesn't make any difference. And I could have sworn I was jogging this earlier today. Let me restart Mach 3. I may have messed something up hitting all those resets. I'll try it again just so we can know for sure. I know I was doing it earlier today on this very laptop. Of course, I didn't have a live hangout going either, so. We'll see. I've still got this on. I'm just going to leave it. See if that load is going to let it. It runs a lot slower when I got this other stuff going on. Back heel in the house. My goodness. How many customizable buttons are on that pendant, and can you actually customize all of them? I think you probably could if you were smart enough, Bobby. I'm probably not smart enough. Like I said, the manual's in Chinglish. So, just to give you an idea, Bobby, it's a lot like the manual for the spindle, if that tells you anything. So, okay, let me try this again here. I probably got Mach 3 all confused trying to do all that other stuff with all the hangout going on the computer. Let me see a quick love that word you came up with, by the way, Dave. What word is that? Chinglish? I didn't come up with that one. This is what I've always heard it called. Yeah, that's what it is, Chinglish. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Yeah, now I'm able to move with the keys on the laptop, and the whole time this is on too. So I guess that was just a glitch with my laptop there. I knew it was doing it earlier. Unless, let's see something here. Let's see what it is. When you have this connected, if you have this turned off, it turns off that on the keyboard too. Yeah, see, now I got to restart it, looks like, because even when I reset it, this is turned on. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. I didn't have it turned on right. Okay, so we solved that mystery. It's if you have this turned off and it's plugged in, it disables the keyboard functions too. So I guess one reason I never knew that is because, like I said, I never turn the thing off. I always just leave it stuck to my machine here. Let me try that, Trevor. That's a good point. I don't think the program will stop. I just think you may be in trouble. You may not have a way to stop it then. Let me load a program. Trevor's question, if you're not reading the chat, says, so if you're running a program and you shut off the pendant, will the program stop? Let's see. Let's just see here. Okay, let me move this back just a bit. I'm going to get the Macro 6, which again doesn't do anything. I don't know why. I'm having to go and hit that config thing again. All I'm doing is hitting it and then hitting OK. I don't know what's up with that. Again, it may be something with my laptop because I'm fooling around here turning stuff off and on. There we go. Now it's all zeros. Okay, now let's hit cycle start. I've got this up plenty high. Just cutting there. And now I'm going to turn the pendant off. Well, it doesn't disable. I think the only thing it disables apparently is the jog function when you turn this off. Because I was able to go over to the laptop and hit stop. Let me start it again, and we'll see if I can hit stop on the pendant when I turn it back on. Okay, so I got the pendant back on. And it looks like, just glancing at these numbers, it picked back up and knows where it's at because the numbers are still matching what's showing there. So if I hit stop here, no, we're still good. So all it, apparently from what I can tell, Trevor, what it shuts off when you turn the pendant off is it shuts off the jog buttons there too. But to me, that's not a big deal because, like I said, I've never even turned that thing off. The only reason I turned it off was just to show you that you can. I always leave it on because when you shut the computer down, the display goes off anyway. So, but anyway, I hope we're right at the top of the hour, I think, here. Yeah, pretty close. I hope everybody that wanted to watch this to get something out of it, I hope y'all did get something out of it. If anybody else has any questions, you know, you can email me or we got 33 folks watching. Yeah, I hope y'all got something out of it. Like I said, it's not that hard to do. for somebody who wanted to dig around it. And actually, I got to fess up. I've had mine, you know, I've had that thing for, I don't know, I've had it a few months now. When I bought it to replace that other little cheaper one. And, you know, I got it set up to do all the stuff that I like to do. And when I got ready to come out here tonight to start setting up, or earlier today, as a matter of fact, I actually had to go through and look at the one over there to kind of refresh my memory to see what I had set, because once I set something, as long as it works, I don't think about it. It's done. But anyway, I hope y'all got something out of that. Don't forget, you know, you can read the little mini DVD thing with, I can get it to pop out of here. I can never get these stupid things. There we go. Yeah, these things, they just send them on these because, you know, they're not sending a whole lot of files, so there's no sense in sending one of them big ones. But these can be read by your regular little, you know, DVD thing, 5-inch or whatever it is. Hi, Dale. How you doing, buddy? I have not tried the Probe Z. As I mentioned earlier, I did make it, you know, again, I'm using the El Cheapo piece of angle and an alligator clip. And since I already had a breakout board because I've got the laser, you know, I had the laser attached to this machine last week. I just made a quick touch plate, and it works fine with the Mach 3 buttons. There's a way to do it, but again, when you try to read this Chinglish in here, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to spend a lot of time playing around with it to get one. But yeah, I wanted to real quick, if I can get kind of an informal poll, just say, yeah, I got one in the chat. How many people have already got one of these that I just showed tonight? One of these pins, either the wireless or the cable. Let's see. If you got one, just put I got one in the chat. I'm just trying to get a feel for how many of y'all. I know Larry, I think's got one. Jesse Brown, Becca's got one. Ed White's got one. Okay, I guess probably a good many of you that are watching tonight maybe have already got one. If you haven't got one, like I said, you know, this will be, once we go off the live here, it'll be a regular video. Raymond, you got the USB type, you must have one like me then. So you'll be able to go back and look at this and get the settings. But I really like that thing. It just makes it really, especially on my Gatton CNC, because on these little small machines, it's not that big a deal because you can get right here to see what you need to see. But when you're on one of those bigger machines and you're trying to set it, it's nice to be able to just set that thing on the table and dial it real slow and be able to look, see where your mark is. So, okay, I guess that's it. Once again, thank y'all for hanging around here with me. I appreciate you. Please try to come to the meetup. It's going to be awesome. It's not just for CNC folks, woodworkers, makers, whatever you want to call yourself. If you're what I call a CNC wannabe, you haven't got one yet, but you know, that's the perfect chance to come to this meetup. I'm going to have not this machine, but I'll have that bigger machine over at Melinda's shop. Anybody that wants to come and test drive it and kick the tires, more than welcome to. I'll probably have some blanks set up. We'll run some stuff and have some fun. So try to come if you can come. It'll be a lot of fun. Plus, Melinda has an amazing shop. She really does. It's worth it just to come see her shop. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to get out of here. That's going to do it. I want to thank y'all once again for hanging with me. And everybody have a great weekend. Hope the weather continues to improve for anybody that might be watching down in Florida or even lower Georgia for that matter. It's been a rough week for a lot of folks, I know. I'm not even complaining. My power was off about 17 hours, and I'm not even gonna gripe about it. So very thankful. All right, that's it. We'll see everybody maybe next Wednesday. If y'all got something you want me to talk about, you know, I'm kind of running out of topics. I haven't got any questions here lately. Maybe I'll just get on here and we'll turn the table. Every time I show something, I'm always showing on the Garage Works. Maybe it's time to start showing some Gatton CNC stuff, although they're really pretty similar. If anybody's got questions about a spindle or, you know, whatever on a Gatton, I can show you the kind of stuff that I've done. Anyway, that's it. We're going to get out of here. Everybody have a great weekend and rest of the week, and we'll see y'all later. Everybody take care.